there anything that not we could, but just the bodybuilding community in general, or somebody who wants to promote shows could do to make these shows better or bring it back to life? You know what? I have an idea, and this is it. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. We were talking about it earlier. You have a buffet show. It's a you have it where there's a meal. Everybody has tables and you have food and you serve food and then you have a show. Boom. People want to come to eat food. They will eat the food. They may not stick around, but they will eat the food. They will pay for the food. And then at least you get the numbers and you get money and you have the show while their food's being served and stuff. This could be something. They've never done that before. You said people have short attention spans, so they get to eat the food, then they get to look, and then hey, people are distracted, right? I don't know, man. I mean, there's it's just sad. I don't even know if bodybuilding's ever gonna be revived like it was. If it's ever gonna be a thing like it was. I don't know.
I
It's too
don't think
much
so.
internet, too much access to whatever you want to see right here. You can go watch all the shows right on your phone. I don't know. I noticed there's a lot of like late 40, early 50 single women now. I've seen like more and more. I'm like, wow,
Do you think that has a lot to do with the way that there once was that feminist movement
maybe
and men were put on blast and then they had to like kind of like tone down the whole what is that?
there was
Was that the
something.
Me Too movement or some stupid ass
Yeah, I mean,
bullshit?
there was a bunch. Yeah, maybe, right?
Like
Because you guys all grew up like 80s and 90s, like
we
when you
we
were young and then into your 20s and the 90s. So I don't know.
bring back masculine men
The
again.
values were still there, but
Bring back masculine men
yes,
again.
yeah, so yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Yeah. Okay.
No, we got. I
I know
mean, we can talk
we talk about
about
all kinds of stuff.
masculinity.
Whatever. We'll just talk.
Sure,
You ready?
certainly.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Paradise Pump. Saturday, as usual, and I've got Mel and Jed back
Hmm.
on the podcast. What's going on?
Um, what is going on? Happy belated Thanksgiving to all. One
Hmm.
subject that I would like to start off with is being at the holidays. How many of you guys overate for this Thanksgiving?
I felt like I overate, but not even close. I can't eat that much. So I had lunch, a decent, like a good sized lunch actually, because I didn't eat anything when I woke up. So I waited till lunch. For me, it was a big lunch. Probably it was an average size meal for a normal person. And then dinner, kind of early dinner though, maybe 4 hours later. And I couldn't eat that much. And to be honest, I went home and I really didn't even eat that much when I got home. I just kind of hung out and let that food just settle and I passed out. I think I passed out at like 8:30 at night on the
Oh,
couch. I know.
all right, old
Isn't
man.
that crazy? Yeah, I know. I woke up at 12:30 though. I got home around 7:30, passed out at 8:30, woke up at 12:30. Like I was gonna watch a couple episodes of Stranger Things and stuff.
Yeah,
The new series, the
yeah.
new season is out. Couldn't, I don't know, 10 minutes in was out. So could have been that beer that I had. I
Oh,
had like
you had a
I had
beverage.
2 beers throughout the day. So like one at lunch and one at dinner. That's it. I don't even drink. So
Jed,
what
how
about
was
you?
your Thanksgiving? Did you overconsume?
No, went to church the night before, and that was it.
Church, they had a thing.
Yeah, yeah, they do. They usually do every year. So you eat, they have a small service, and that's it.
Bless
Oh,
those turkeys that
yeah.
went to turkey heaven.
It's overrated. Thanksgiving, holidays,
What about you?
overindulging.
What
I
about you?
believe overindulging is overrated. And that's
Yeah.
why a lot of people don't like to, be in contest prep or diet. Oh, the holidays,
Mm,
coach. I don't want to compete in April because I want to enjoy the holidays. You can still enjoy the holidays.
mm.
You can, have a little bit here and there and still enjoy your time with the family without being awkward and be like, oh no, I'm on a diet.
I
I
just
have a show coming up.
well, it's kind of cool when you do. I swear, I remember doing that before, and in my mind, I thought I was freaking cool because I was like, "Yeah, I got discipline. Nobody else does." really, I was a dumbass, right? I was just missing out on some pretty good food. Like, it's so stupid. But I remember thinking that in my head, like, nobody can do what I do, skipping Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Like,
You
it's
felt a little hardcore,
a
huh?
little bit, a little bit, but it's just dumb. Now looking back, I'm like, should have just ate some food.
That's why you
But
look like that, you fat shit.
that's,
Cause all that
yeah,
ice
well,
cream and pie
I don't know
you're
if I was thinking
eating.
fat shit,
Oh,
but
okay.
no, actually, it's funny. I never really think of people as fat shits. I do think of people as like, when I see people who don't exercise, I do think of them more as like, wow, like you don't want to take care of yourself. Like you like looking like that. Like you don't want to feel better. Like that's the thought process in my head, you know? I mean, really, and it's always been like that. I'm always just like, isn't that uncomfortable? When I see somebody really big, I'm like, isn't that uncomfortable? Like getting in and out of the car, using the bathroom. Like, how do you enjoy that? That's what I think. And in my mind, it trips me out because I think, wow, the amount of energy and effort it in their mind it would take for them to lose the weight, they would prefer just dealing with that.
I mean, maybe it's a mental thing. Maybe they've been that way for so long and it's so overwhelming for them to do. Or like me, I got aches and pain. There's never a day that goes by that I'm like, wow, I feel good today. Like that,
Yeah.
but
But how do you but they got there, right? Like didn't they see the signs along the way? Like, I mean, like you gain 50 pounds, like, hey, maybe you should start doing something. Gain 100 pounds, oh, maybe you really should, there's a point, right, where you kind of see things, or people probably, I mean, I'm sure somebody said something, somebody close, or maybe not, I don't know. You ever notice, do people tend to tell other people, whether it's friends or even just coworkers, oh, you lost weight, more than, oh, you gained some weight? Which one do people tend to put out there,
the losing weight part, of
right?
course.
Or they'll go, oh, you look skinny. Wow, you look like you lost too much weight. Like they'll even say that. Like, oh, you look a little skinnier. Wow, I never seen you so skinny. I've heard that one before of other people. And it's like, oh, wow.
Because it's offensive, right? To say, oh, see, you put on a little bit of weight,
Right,
unless you
right.
put on muscle.
Yeah, right. But to some people, it's offensive if you tell them that you lost weight. If you're a bodybuilder, it's offensive. If you say, if you tell a bodybuilder
You're looking
you look
skinny.
skinny, oh my God, whoa, they'll lose their shit.
Yeah.
It's not good.
So being that said, in the holidays and such, so how do you go about eating around the holidays without overdoing it and feeling guilty,
You
for
just don't
your
eat that much. What is, I don't understand.
some people don't have
What,
self-control
it's not
though,
even self-control though. I don't even, it's not even enjoyable. It's not that enjoyable to me to eat till where I'm full. I
Like
just am not
you
comfortable with
don't
it.
need that fourth plate, right?
I can barely get through one. Hello,
Me
I'll do
too.
one full plate and I'm like, towards the end, I'm like getting it in. Like, okay, I can't. I'm done. And then usually dessert, a lot of times if there's dessert, I'll just take it home. I'm like, okay, because I want to enjoy it. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
full, I can't even enjoy it. I'm like, yeah, or I'll take a little piece. I'll take a bite and I'm like, oh, can I just take it with me? And I'll eat it maybe an hour or 2 hours later once my food settles a little bit because I want to actually enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm full, I can't enjoy the pie.
Jed, how do you advise your clients to, enjoy the holidays a little bit, but not overindulge and
Diet between the holidays.
Diet, wow.
It's 3 fucking days. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's.
Hmm.
People think it's like weeks of eating. It's like it's 3 fucking days. In between, just diet. You're fine.
I just don't know why people eat so much. I just can't figure it out. I seriously cannot figure it out. I just don't get it. I've never been a big eater, so I mean, maybe I was trained that way. I was talking to my sister, the other day because it was Thanksgiving. So we are talking about, and she's older. She's about what, 3 years, 3.5 years older. So that's a pretty big gap. When if I'm 5, she's almost 9, right? It's kind of a big gap. She's gonna remember a lot more. And then we were talking about how she was like, yeah, we a lot of times we didn't eat that much, growing up when we were younger. It's like I remember we got punished and mom didn't she didn't feed us dinner or stuff like, and I was like, I don't remember that. I don't remember it. I was probably 5, 6 years old, 7 years old, but I don't remember that. So I'm assuming I probably wasn't suffering. I probably didn't mind it. It's so weird. It makes sense now why I got into the bodybuilding, right? Dieting and stuff like that. I was like, I could diet, that suffering of it. But I remember she'd say, yeah, we sometimes wouldn't eat dinner, and I was like, oh, really? And I was
Well,
like,
I don't know. I mean, a lot has to do with people's relationship with food as well, too. Whether or not you have a healthy relationship with food, especially contest prep people, they're like, "Oh no, I can't eat that."
mm.
You can eat it, just not right now. So they think, like it's this toxic
Well, it's emotional
cycle.
eaters
Yeah,
too, right?
emotional
I feel
eaters
like
as
a
well,
lot of
too.
people who are overweight tend to be emotional
I'm
eaters.
not gonna lie, I'm an emotional eater.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
I like
okay.
my sweets when I'm going through a funk. Yeah, you're gonna see some weight pack on.
Oh,
Then I
okay.
feel shitty, and then I'm like, oh God, Mel, look at
So
you,
that
you
food satisfies you
a
in
little
that
bit.
moment.
It
Yeah,
does at the
yeah,
moment, and then
yeah.
you get mad because you look some type of way in the mirror, and you the clothes doesn't fit like how you
Mm.
want it to, and then you diet down a little bit, or you clean it up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I am an emotional eater, especially, but at the same time, I don't go off the deep end either.
Yeah,
I know when to reel it back. I'm like, oh, okay, put myself back in check again.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I One thing that irks me is people relate eating with feeling good. Like, oh, it's enjoyable. And I remember I had a client a long time ago. It's like, well, I like to eat it because I feel good. I said, well, so much stuff there is to do on this planet. If the only thing that makes you feel good is eating, you've got a bigger problem, and you need to go see help with someone else before you come to me.
I know some people who will kind of what you said, but they put it into a social aspect of food, friends, outing, we're all together. Then they kind of combine that. It's like, I feel good because it's all of that together, right? It's not just the eating, but it's the whole gathering
Environment. Yeah.
and the environment and your friends, your family, all that stuff together makes them feel good, right? Yeah, I've never been like that. I had to learn actually to get like that. I mean, after all the years of bodybuilding and stuff, and I did not understand how to enjoy, like going out and enjoying it. Like, hey, we're gonna go to a restaurant or we're gonna enjoy this evening, have this food. And heck, my whole thought process, even if it was a nice restaurant, is like, I'm gonna go, I'm ordering this food. Okay, this is food. I'm gonna eat this food. Okay, we're gonna go. Like that was my thought process because I'm there to get that food that I need to eat, and then we're out. And it took me a while actually to learn that, to be like, hey, this is a whole thing. It's not just you eating that meal. We're gonna go out. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna hang out with some friends. You're gonna have some food. You guys are gonna talk. And I was like, okay, this is something different. And I
Being
didn't,
social was
yes,
different.
being so, no, in that environment
Oh,
with food. My social environment, you could go to the club or the bar. That's different, right? You don't have food though. You're just drinking and having fun. But and even like a party, right? Like a house party, a lot of times. I mean, yeah, there's food, but a lot of times you don't have to eat. You're just kind of hanging out. So I had to kind of learn that later in life, how to enjoy that. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So I never associated food with fun.
But the other thing people don't get is that you can do all that without the food not being there.
Oh
I
yeah.
think people
Yeah.
also have a hard time going out, like conversating, socializing, and then all of a sudden they think food has to be there to do that.
Right.
Same with drinking.
Yes. Yes.
So it's the same issue because a lot of times it's all packed together. That if one element's missing, they think like it's not going to work.
Well, I mean, think about it. Usually, what is it? Wedding, then food, right? Funeral, then food. Everything, all of these events, right? High school graduation, then food. College graduation, then food. It's always goes from the event, the celebration, or, the morning to food after. And that's the gathering of everybody, and we're all going to eat together, right?
Hmm. You're right.
So, what do you do? So you have a thing, you have an event, you say, okay, after you go up, there's no food. We're just all hanging out and we're just not even drinking alcohol. We got water on tap and, guys can hang out, have some water, and we're just going to hang out and talk and
I mean,
enjoy
people
each other's
can
company.
go, but if you're in a situation where you can't eat the food, you can still go and do all the other things without eating the food.
Yeah. No, but my whole thing is like it is a thing though, right? Like
Yeah,
why do we need the food though? Just like
yeah.
you were saying, why do we need the food there? Why does it have to revolve around the food?
It's like in the South. I don't know if it's like this everywhere else, but if there's a relative that dies, you don't have to cook for a while because people are bringing tons of food
Everyone's
over,
bringing food,
and
right?
it's like you would think that'd be the last time you'd want to think about eating,
Yes.
but your house is just packed with food.
I mean, I've been to funerals where it's it's interesting. Literally, go everyone's sad, sad, sad. It's done. We're all sitting there eating it, and you would think that nobody died. I mean, everyone's having a good time, talking, laughing, enjoying, eating up, eating up, eating up. And then there's a couple of the drunk uncles or whatever that start getting into their feels. But like I mean, yeah, it's interesting how food, everything kind of revolves around food.
Yeah,
Mm, yeah.
yeah. I remember when my grandfather died, people were coming over for like a week. There was
Hmm.
just people in the house all the time, and they were bringing all types of shit over to eat.
All right.
And it went on for, I think it went on for about a week.
For about a week.
Yeah, and
Wow.
everybody was
Wow.
having a good time telling stories. I mean, everybody was in a good
Huh.
mood, and I mean, I
And I
think
think it
that's
should be. I
that's the
think it should
point
be.
of it.
Yeah.
That's the
I think it
point.
should be.
You want
Yeah.
to keep the person's mind off of it
Yeah. Yeah. You want to celebrate someone's life, right? I mean, you're going to be sad, but you want to celebrate it. You don't want to be crying and depressed for a month straight.
and being alone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, there's going to be sadness. You're going to miss the person, but unfortunately, we all die. So everyone dies. It's just the way it goes.
But to be associated with food, though,
Right. Right. You're really thinking about it. Isn't it interesting though,
Mark's
right?
funeral, we're just gonna have water, juice, and coffee, not even alcohol. We're not
and
serving food.
and trend. No. They're like, we got trend shots here. Like, hey, they got shots here. Yeah, trend shots. Come here.
That's gonna be
I
Mark's
know.
funeral, not food, just water, juice, and
Oh
it's
my
gonna be a
God.
watered down juice too, so nobody sticks around.
I mean, if you guys want to add in, I'm cool with adding in the fruit basket, with the cheese and the meat, whatever,
Charcuterie board
the
for
cooler. Yes,
Mark's
we can have that. That's fine.
for Mark's
So everyone's
funeral.
going to have just the small plates, and you're just going to be loading them up with that. So nobody's going to have meals. They're just going to be like picking at stuff. That's it. That's what we're going to do. Okay.
You guys are not coming to Mark's funeral for lunch. It's
Yes,
just charcuterie boards
that's it.
and water.
Dude, what's the water? Yes, fruits. Maybe we might have chopsteak. I don't know, but that's pushing it now. Yeah,
Oh
'Cause I
my.
love I love chopsteak. So, but
And like I said, it's your relationship with food because you can
yeah,
still go to the celebrations. You can
yeah,
still enjoy the
oh yeah,
holidays with your family. People, oh coach, I don't want to
right.
be dieting around holidays.
Well, and it goes to for alcohol too, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people during holidays. It's whether it's some people who are like going to binge on food, and then there's other ones who maybe binge on the alcohol. Maybe they're not big drinkers all year round, but then during holidays, they're like, all right, ending of the year, it's been a rough year.
I'm
I'm
getting
I'm
shit
tripling up
faced.
on my shit. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm loading up. This is it. This is the time for me to do it.
and alcohol will fuck everything up in a
Oh,
heartbeat.
oh,
If you're
yeah.
trying to change, I'll even say gaining muscle, losing fat, whatever. Alcohol will put a halt on that shit very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize the impact that it definitely has with
No, I don't think so.
especially with fat loss. Even the stupid sorority fucking myths. Oh well, it's clear. Like it's just
Yeah,
you're gonna get
that.
fucking fat. So just stop.
Clear. I love that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
The clear. Yeah, that's great. Alcohol will fuck you up for sure. Yeah. I think that is one of the easiest ways to put body fat on alcohol. It's very deceiving. You don't
Especially
you
the
don't
what
notice
I don't
it.
know what you guys call them here. We just call them bitch beers, like the
Uh,
Smirnoff ices and the
Yeah,
little
yeah. The bitch
flavored.
beers. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
with
what
all
do
the
we
sugar
don't
in
I
it.
don't know
You
if
get
we have
And
sick
those
as
those
for
fuck.
twisted teas and all of those
Yeah,
Oh
you
yeah,
guys.
those
get
are like
sick.
Fuck.
four. I read them sometimes, like the can. I think like a 20 ounce. It's like 400 calories in a 20
Oh
ounce
shit, I didn't realize that.
of those ones. When they came out with like Trulies and all those like seltzers, it cut it in half. So now you got like 200 calories in a bigger can. But all those Mike Harder lemonades, those are like 400 calories a
And when you
can.
start getting buzzed, you don't give a fuck how many
Oh
calories is in there.
hell, dude, you're doing 2, 3 cans,
Yeah.
bro. Once you get the buzz going, you're just like, I can tell you,
Calories don't count.
I'm just like, I'll do one. I'm like one, and I'm like,
Yeah.
let's go. I'm just like, I'm not even counting numbers already at that point,
And the
you
Waffle
know.
House trip, but nobody cares about how many
Although
calories
Waffle
in that
House,
shit.
Yeah, we don't have Waffle Houses here. We don't even, I don't know if a lot of people from Hawaii know about the Waffle
Oh, I
House
do. I spent
and
time
the
in the military,
ghetto-ness,
so
the
I know Waffle
ghetto-ness
House.
of the Waffle
It's fucking.
House.
I love it. It's
It's so
awesome.
ghetto with the this. It's a black culture thing, right? A lot of them, and they get well, no, a lot of the fights and stuff. You see, I see it on YouTube, man. There's all these big fights with the
Yeah.
Waffle House staff and the customers, and they're full brawling. I'm like, what is that,
I
dude?
wonder if it's part of the Waffle House interview, like how well you
I don't
can fight,
know.
right?
You gotta take a fucking self
I
defense
bet no, I
course.
think so because it was like the cook came out, and there was one. There was a manager. There and the manager, the guys on they were the manager like stopped them, kicked them. It was crazy.
Look at it from their perspective. It's 1 in the morning and you're being outnumbered by a bunch of
That's what
drunk
it
college
is.
kids.
Yeah.
Like it's every man for themselves. So I'd be bringing the spatula out too if it was me. I wouldn't give a shit.
I could see Jed working at a
Yeah.
Waffle
Oh,
House.
Jed could. There was a, was it in Georgia? I saw there was like four Waffle Houses in like a 2 mile radius or
Oh
something.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
Oh,
Somebody was like showing, there's like Waffle, he was driving, he was like showing it. There's like four of them within like 2 miles. It's like, that's freaking weird.
I wonder how much like the CEO of Waffle House makes. It's probably a fortune.
I don't know, I guess.
And
Yeah.
it like if they did the statistics, they probably don't start making profit till like 12:30 at night or 1 in the morning.
Oh, guaranteed,
Yeah.
dude. Guaranteed.
if you're a cook and got anger issues, you should apply at Waffle House, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
because there's,
perfect
I
job
mean,
for
go
you.
go on YouTube, whoever wants to see it, and just look up like Waffle House fight. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna find just two or three. There's a lot. There's so many, and they're all over different ones, not the same ones. There's so many
And it
different
seems
ones.
like Waffle House is perfectly fine with that
I
reputation.
think so. No, I think it is. Like I think they just
Just
know this is
it's
what we
like
do, and the people that work there, like you said, they're ready for it.
just lean into it, man.
Like they're ready for it.
Just
That's
lean
I'm
into
why
telling
it.
you,
the
it
workers
must be
come on
part of
and they're
the
just like
job
throwing.
application.
Yeah,
That
it's
shit is
something.
great.
It's something. It's so funny to watch. It's like freaking Waffle House, dude.
We never had fights in them in the South, like in North Carolina.
Not in
We
there.
had the
No.
generic like coffee house, huddle house, like there were like
Oh,
the side versions of Waffle House. And we never had any fights. You have one or two old ladies that were just doing it to make money at night,
mm,
and just being nice. It was a little different. I mean, we were raising hell in there,
yeah,
annoying people with the jukebox and shit, but
yeah.
we never broke out in any fights.
I think a lot of these are in like Georgia, probably near Atlanta, or
Yeah.
probably near bigger cities like that. I think small towns, it's usually chill. It's usually the bigger cities
I'm
when.
either watching too much social media, Instagram reels, because lately Hawaii in itself, there've been a lot
Oh
more
yeah, no,
fights lately.
there's been.
After,
I've been seeing it. I've been seeing a bunch
so
of
we're
them.
getting up there as far as not to say just Waffle House, but as far as scuffles and fights outside of the bars
Yeah,
here
there
in
was the
Hawaii.
Waikiki one, right? Did you see it the other week? There was one on Waikiki guys, and then yeah, interesting. There's, I have to say though, at least I gotta give Hawaii credit. At least when there are fights, it's usually pretty good fights. Like those guys know how to fight. Like it's pretty decent most of the time. Sometimes when there's like tourists, then it's like crap. But sometimes you'll see two guys and they're like, I'm like, oh, these guys want to fight. Like they have skills. It's kind of like, oh, okay. But sometimes you see those dudes out there and they don't know what they're doing, or they're just like throwing haymakers and kicking and falling down. And
Most of the time I've
it's
heard
like,
about fights breaking out here. When I first got here, it was like the fucking Marines that would come here and just get
oh,
drunk and
yeah,
act cocky, and a
yeah,
couple locals have to put them in their place. They're like their first weekend here and they're just being drunk and obnoxious.
yeah, yeah.
That when I first got here, that was usually the stories we heard about people getting their ass beat.
Well, in the 1950s and stuff, one of the local guys, it was a big thing. A lot of local guys would fight the like sailors. I think it was especially sailors because there was a lot of sailors back then. And they would go, I mean, they would be looking for fights too. I mean, it was the thing. That's why if you ever see those old movies, and the sailors are getting into fights, right? They go to the bars and they get into fights. And then that's like a real thing. They all get off the boat, they're all pretty restless, and then they get out there and then there's a whole bunch of them. And there was a lot of local guys that used to come and they would train and fight, and they would go out there and purposely try to get into fights and stuff. And this is the 1950s and 60s, even 70s, that was still kind of going on. So
After that, For the life of me, I can't remember the name of the nightclub over here, right?
Which one?
By the airport, right by Byron's. Um,
Oh, yes, yes. What was that place called? I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
How long ago?
yeah,
Oh,
long
geez,
ago.
long
Yeah.
It
time ago.
was
That was in the 90s.
in the 90s, and they used
Yeah.
to have
What was
like
that place
fights
called?
outside of there a lot. It was
I
military
never
against
went.
local guys out there.
I never went to that place.
Not Gussie Lamore's, not
No, no,
jeez.
it wasn't Moose's. Moose
No,
McGillicuddy. Moose's was in Waikiki.
like,
And then UH. They had one by UH. Yeah, what was that?
but
I know
remember
what
they
you're
used to
talking
have
about.
fights over there, and they used to like have them. They used to
Hmm.
organize fights
Hmm.
over there at that one bar.
Well, didn't they used to have? Yeah, wasn't there one of the bars where they actually had fight night?
Yeah.
Where right, you
No,
could
seriously,
go.
was it Gussie Lamore's?
No,
No.
it was Gussie Lamore's, I think. I think you're right. Because Moose McGillicuddy's,
Mm-hmm.
Moose's, I thought they had one too. Because Moose McGillicuddy's was very popular with the military crowd. And then Gussie Lamore's, that was Gussie Lamore's. Yes, I think
And I
so.
remember it used to be a lot of local guys, especially hopped up on, the good
Yeah,
stuff
they used to
against
go in there.
military guys.
It was. You know, I never used to go to those bars. I always went to the local spots. I just never went to them. I was like, "Ah, I don't want to deal with it." But that's yeah, I remember that. They would have fight night, and then you would have I don't know, they made like a ring in there. The
Mm-hmm.
guys would be like, okay, and then if you win the fight, you get paid cash or
Yeah.
something.
Did you guys ever used to do Tough Man?
No, I mean, I know what that
It's kind
is.
of the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, that's I
So
mean
you
similar.
can't have any sanctioned fights or whatever. And we
Right.
used to have it at the armory back
Yeah.
home. And random people would just enter and they'd give you headgear and gloves and they'd be like a
Oh
$1,000
shit.
cash
Yeah,
prize.
you win the prize, yeah.
And you just go in there and just duke it out. And sometimes it's fun to watch because you'd
Yeah.
see some guys talk a lot of shit and go in there and get their ass
And
handed
get
to them.
knocked out.
Yeah.
I
Well, the
remember,
best was the drunk guys.
It used to be like that at Gussie Lamore's for the cash
But it
prize.
was bad because I felt bad because like I said, and I never ever really went to those places. And I know guys that would go and they would tell me stories. And unfortunately, a lot of guys would go there that were fighting. They weren't drunk. They weren't drinking. They were 100% sober.
Yes.
And then there was a drunk dude, typically usually a military guy.
Yes.
And I was
Yes.
like, oh my God. Like, and that would be the fight. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh man,
And then
drunk guy against sober. Who knows how to fight?
they would fight again outside.
And it was bad. I mean, these guys would get their ass beat. Like, and I would hear about the stories, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was like, this is crazy. Like,
Where were you? More down the street at Jubilees?
Juba, you're
Now I'm
stupid.
bringing it back.
Sillies. I went to
Sillies.
Sillies. Bobby
The
McGee's.
Wave was another fight place too.
The Wave, because the Wave was that 4 a.m. club.
Yeah. And it was
And
again military
it
against local
was,
boys.
well, the Wave was alternative music. You would have loved it. The
yeah,
Wave was alternative, and this is in the peak of the 80s, dude. So, I mean, you had the coolest late night, 2 a.m., weird rock alternative shit. Some of the stuff that you didn't even know. You're like,
that'd be
what?
cool.
What is this? And
Yeah.
it was all like blackout lights
It
and
was a
shit.
cool
The lights were
place.
cool, and they would have live bands in there too. So it was super, just a real different vibe in there. That was the only club like that on the island, and everybody would go there. A lot of people from all the other clubs, because most of the clubs closed that too in Waikiki, and this was at the beginning of Waikiki. So everybody would go in there at 2 a.m. and you had some interesting. It was a mixture. You
Yeah.
had like these hip hop people in there. You had
From
these
Pink's
rockers in there. Yeah,
Garage,
because they were
and
like the
then they
spot.
went to the Wave.
Pink Cadillac.
And
Pink,
Pink Cadillac.
yeah, Pink Cadillac was right here. So at one point there was one. So in Waikiki, you know when you first enter
From McCully
Waikiki
side.
from Macaulay, there's that Macaulay Bridge and all that, and you go down. Is that Jack in the Box still there?
Hmm.
Yeah, the Jack in the Box on your left. That building, the Kalakawan, it's right there. It's in a straight. So anyway, I used to live in that building. Just by the way, I know there used to be a nightclub right here, Silly's. Then there was a nightclub here, Masquerade.
Oh,
There was another one that was
Masquerades.
attached to it. It was called Phase. And these were like cool trip, like neon lights, blackout lights, kind of cool. It had a mixture of like alternative music with the newer dance music stuff that was coming out for that era. And then you had Pink Cadillac right here, which was more of like a bar slash kind of rock alternative. And then you had the Wave right here. So it's literally you could walk to all these places. Silly's was the full on like hip hop local spot. That would have fights. That was like full local. If you weren't local and you went in there,
You're gonna get
you're
your ass
gonna
kicked.
probably get slapped, most likely, because somebody's gonna be drunk, and there are some local guys probably gonna be like, and he's gonna slap you. That's just how it was in Silly. So for real, like fights. I worked in cities for a little while. Stupid fights would break out in there all the time over nothing. But yeah. So Silly's closed at 4 a.m. All the other ones closed at 2, except the Wave. So you had those two that would stay open. So the locals would stay there. If you stayed in Silly's, if you made it till 4 a.m., there's about a 90% chance there's going to be a fight on the street, usually. So, but the Wave was cool because the Wave didn't really have that many fights, though. It was people were more chill. And I think part of it was because Silly's crowd was getting drunk. The Wave crowd was getting high and doing some type of ecstasy and shit and having fun with that. So it was a different vibe.
Did you guys ever have the mechanical bullshit here?
No, we never had that.
Oh man,
No.
I've got my ass beat a few times on that.
I always wanted to try that. We
It's
never had
fun.
that. Yeah.
There was one bar. I'm not gonna say the name or where it was at. I don't put anybody on the spot. But it was in the county over, which we thought was more backwoods than our county, and our county was pretty backwoods at the time. And we got in this phase where we would go to other counties and go check out the bars and stuff when we got old enough to drink. And somebody told us about this one, and that they did is they took this big ass barn
Mhm.
and turned it into a bar with dance
Oh shit,
floor
that sounds cool.
on the. Yeah, it sounds
Hey,
cool.
did they
And
have oil wrestling though?
no,
See,
so I don't.
Gussie's had.
I don't
Gussie's
know if
hat,
they had
yes.
something like, but
See, see, you fucking knew it.
so we were talking about going. I think my stepmom overheard us,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Don't go over there." She's like, "People like knife fight and shit in the parking lot
Oh
there."
wow.
So of course we're like, "We're gonna go check this out." So we all
You're
get.
like, all right, mom.
So we like left late and we drove. And it was in the middle of fucking nowhere, and then you had to find this hill and drive all the way up the hill, and like you didn't see it until you got to the end of the road.
Interesting.
And we heard some Will Smith music or some rap music
Oh,
playing
shit.
in there, which we thought was weird because considering where we were at, we
Yeah.
figure of hearing like some Hank Williams or some shit playing. So, and we thought, oh, this will be all right. And we walked in, and it was like something out of the movies where a guy walks in, the piano man stops, and everybody turns and looks.
The
Right?
record screeches
Yeah,
and
because
everything.
we were just young kids from the county over, and they knew who was supposed to be there and who wasn't.
Oh no
So we
shit.
all there was like 4 or 5 of us, and we walked in there, and like everybody just stopped and stared at us. And I think we stood there for like 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, we're getting the fuck out of here because it was rough crowd. I mean,
Wow.
even like the so-called trailer park princesses and stuff were like rough looking, and
Mm.
we were just like, holy, she wasn't joking. We gotta get the fuck out of here. We were not there very long, but that's there's places like that where I'm from. You usually want to go to the bar stuff that are in the towns that are a little
Yeah.
bit safer.
In the bigger city, right? Yeah. Or
Well,
just
the bigger towns.
bigger town,
There's no
right?
cities where I'm
Because
from.
this yours is like basically is it you go out there and then there's like nothing but then that bar.
Yeah,
See that yeah, that reminds me of like Porky's,
yeah.
where that's how Porky that movie Porky's where they drove way out there and it was just the Porky's by itself, right? That was it.
Like
So
even if
you
something
could get in
happened,
there
it would
and
take the cops like a
well,
half
that's
hour
what I
to get
mean.
there.
You get in
yeah.
there and they want to fuck you up, you're fucked.
And you're
Like,
fucked up
yeah.
before the cops get there. Like they're not
Yeah.
gonna get in trouble.
Right.
So,
That's what I mean. Like they can fuck you up. So
like you go there, you mind your own business, don't start any shit, they're gonna be taken outside. So
that's
we
too
started
funny.
staying more in the college town and more in our town after that.
But what was crazy back in those days, it was like a bodybuilder scene, 80s, 90s ish. And they used to think, I don't know, because they were big bodybuilders that they could fight, but
Mm,
they
no.
didn't have fast
No.
hands. They were slow as
No, I
hell.
know.
It was just mere brute strength that won them over the military guys fighting. But now, like everybody's in some type of martial arts or MMA, so you just never know who you're gonna be end up fighting with. Like or they may have a gun or a knife or like
I know. Well,
whatever. So
that's the big thing
that
now.
now
Yeah.
it's like, it's not my
People
deal.
are just like, I don't want to fight, and they just shoot you. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like that's like a thing. It's it's crazy because I think from what I've seen, just on the internet and everything, and especially, I mean, not so much here still, but in the mainland, doesn't matter if the other guy is bigger or not, or you guys could both be big guys, or it could be big, small guy. It doesn't, they'll just shoot. It
Yeah.
doesn't, like big guy could shoot a small guy. It doesn't, it's just like, I'm not going to waste my time fighting. I'm a big guy. I don't want to waste my time. I'm just going to shoot him. Or a little guy could shoot a little guy. Like, I just noticed it has nothing to do with anything. they just will just shoot. It's it's crazy,
Yeah.
you
We
know.
we were in we were in a college town. I can't remember if I was with them or not because I was usually pretty wasted. But my buddies were there, and we were at this bar where all the fraternities were at. And I can't remember what got my friend riled up, but I think story goes he took a beer bottle and hit it over somebody's head or hit him with something and pushed him into one of the fraternities. And they thought
Mm.
the other fraternity did it. And then they got into it, and then the rest of everybody got into. So this
Oh
whole
yeah,
bar started fucking going
it was a
crazy.
bar. Yeah, it was a
So
bar
while
fight.
this was going on, and my buddy lived in an apartment across the street. So they got out through the door, the window, or something, ran across the street, sat on his porch, and were smoking cigarettes, watching the cops break up the bar brawl that he started.
Oh my god! And you're like, all right.
Yeah, he was just sitting over there chilling, and like he started that whole thing. And
Oh my
he said like
god,
the whole place was just all going
Oh,
crazy.
shit.
That
Big
was in
melee.
Boone. That was in Boone,
the
North Carolina.
melee. Well, there was a huge fight in Silly's, and it was like the local kind of mafia, kind of local guys against like Samoans. And you might have even heard of it. I don't know. But it was like 80, 88, 89, maybe. I don't even want to mention most of those guys aren't
If
even
you
around.
drop last names, I would probably
Yeah.
know who
I
you're
mean, most of
talking
those guys
about.
aren't even around. A lot of them died. But if you remember the Nogas and
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely.
Yep, the Nogas, and then a bunch of the local guys from like Hawaii Kai and stuff. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and guess I know. Guess what? I was
Were
there.
you bouncing that
I
night?
was no, I wasn't
Oh,
even at the time. I don't think that I was working there anymore. I think I was working at Bobby McGee's,
okay.
and one of my other friends, who's pretty good friends with all the Hawaii Cowboys, like, and I those guys were older than me, so I didn't really go to school with most of them, but I knew some of them, like, hey, what's up? But I didn't really hang out with them, and so they were all in there. And a lot of them were football players, and the
Yep.
Nogas were football players. They were
Yep.
big. These are big dudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all in there, and I'm kind of hanging out with my friend and hanging out, and I'm like, oh, okay, the energy was a little much, because everybody's getting drunk, getting stupid, they kind of getting crazy, right? And I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna go outside. This is what's so interesting of my timing of how things works out, of how things worked out. I'm inside, and it's kind of like Silly's. It's like underground almost, right? You have to walk down these steps, and then it's kind of like a basement, not exactly, but it's definitely, it's not street level. It's maybe 5, 6 feet below street level. You go down, there's double doors, and you go inside. And it's just no windows, enclosed, dance floor, bar. Like it's just this enclosed little square. And I was in there hanging out, and I walked outside, and I literally walked out front. And then the street is right here. The main
Yeah.
street's right here. And I'm hanging out because it gets hot in there. I'm like, man, I'll get out. I'm just hanging out. My friend's in there, right? So I'm like, well, I'm just kind of was over it. But I was just like, well, he's hanging out. He's getting drunk. I'll just wait for him. And then all of a sudden, these doors open, and it's just like, whoa, the people. And I was standing over here, luckily, by the steps. I'm over here, and I just kind of move away. I was like, quickly, I just went, oh, what's going on? I moved away. All this stuff, all these guys came out. The bouncers were being pushed. Everything came out. And there was this fight. I mean, there was big dudes, and they were on the street, and there was like groups of people, like two guys over here, two on two, two on two, two on two, and they're on the fight. They're on the street throwing blows, trying to do takedowns. I mean, crazy. And I'm just kind of standing there like, oh, okay, like, all right, like I'm not gonna get involved in this. And I just watched it. I was like, whoa, this is freaking wild. And then that whole thing happened. Of course, cops came a little late, but showed up, broke it up, and then there was like a whole big thing. The Nogas, they went on PBS TV and was like doing this like apologizing thing, and because there was a whole bunch of like death threats and everything after that. It was crazy. People were like, "We're gonna kill you, gonna kill you." I mean, it was this was like a week later, and this was still going on. And I was like, oh man, this was pretty bad. Like it became a big situation, and then it finally got squashed. But I think, yeah, because I think they went on TV and did like this formal apology on like public TV channel. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy because the guys came back, the Hawaii guys came back like 2 days later with guns and stuff, and they went to the bar. And I don't know what they were looking for or who they were looking for, but they went in there. They roughed up a couple guys who were there, and they had a male review show. So they have male review shows on like Sunday. Yeah, because it was all these
On
tourist
its on a
girls
Sunday.
back in the 80s. It was Sundays. All these tourist girls back in the 80s, they would have the shows. Well, they did it on Sunday because guess what? Friday, Saturday, that place is packed. So they do it on Sundays. And it was all these 18, 19-year-old mainland girls because the Hawaii law was still 18. I think it had just changed to like 21 then, but a lot of tourists would come in. All these high school, they would graduate high school and they would come here to Hawaii and they would be on a bus. And a lot of these guys would get the girls, they meet them on the street, sell them tickets, and they would go to the show. The Men of Paradise is what the show was called. And so there was two bars, well, like three bars that would have these shows. And yeah, and so they went there. I guess a bunch of guys showed up on Sunday night, and they roughed up a couple of the male review dancers. They were just there; they had no idea what was going on. They roughed them up. I think they were. I don't know who they were looking for, but obviously they didn't find whoever they were looking for. And then yeah, and then that was the whole. And then I had heard because I knew some of those guys that danced there too. They're like, "Oh man, yesterday they came," and I was like, "Oh wow!" I was like, "Oh my god, what's going on? Like this is crazy." Like.
Mark, were you never asked to be a male review dancer since you had the body to go with it and you're already part of the
I was a male review
association?
dancer.
You
Yeah.
were, right?
Well, okay, that was later though. When I was there, I was 18, 19, and initially, was I bouncing initially? No, I don't think I was bouncing. I think what had happened was Masquerade, so the place across the street, because they had the Men of Paradise and Sillies, but then they would have a show at Masquerade too. I think they would go back and forth. Anyway, I remember a couple of guys like, "Oh man, you look pretty jacked. You should dance." And I remember going, "Oh no, like not that I was shy to dance. I think I was more worried about the image of me dancing. Like, being from Hawaii, being like, "Oh, I don't want people to know that I'm a stripper." Like that was my thing. I remember that because I wasn't afraid of,
Why? Being a male stripper came with
well, I
prestige.
know, but I was like, I was like 18, 19. Come on. I don't know. I just, for some reason, I don't know what it was. I think I had this thing in my head that I didn't want people to look at me like that. And so I didn't mind, the stage because I was into bodybuilding. But what I ended up doing was they were like, well, you could just be a waiter, a server during the show and you get tipped really well. And we used to do that whole chip and Dale's thing where you were, the little bow tie with the little sleeves, and then you wear, jeans, and you walk around and you take orders, right? That sucked because I was like, this is like lame taking orders. But I did it for, I want to say I did it for a few weeks. And I made some money and I got a shit ton of numbers. Oh my God. Me and my friend, we were doing it and we go home and we're like, dude, how many numbers you got? We all these numbers. And I'm like, I think I remember this girl. Wait, I was like, call the number. And we call the numbers, and a lot of girls pick up, and they're at the hotels or whatever. They're like, yeah, we're here. No, yeah, come over. Or they were drunk. A lot of them were drunk. And we just did it for fun. We're like,
Of
okay, call.
course, you do it
I
for
never really
fun
went. I never really
because
went.
they're gonna
You
go
know.
home in a couple of days if they're from the
Yeah, I
mainland.
never
That's
really.
perfect.
I know. I never really went. I could have been a real male slut at the time, but I wasn't. I was young, I didn't understand that. So I was like, oh, I was kind of worried. So I
Damn.
didn't do it. And you got to remember, this was like 1988. This was still AIDS era. We were still
Oh
scared.
yeah.
We were still scared of HIV AIDS. Oh, we were frightened. Like 1985, 86, they put the fear in us. Everybody was like, believe me, everybody in that time was like, whoa, scared. I would be like, man, got to be careful. Oh, so definitely was very aware of that too, which now we know, it's like it's not just that
Like you
easy,
couldn't even
but
play sports if you had it.
huh?
You couldn't play sports
Oh
together
no,
if you
yeah.
had it. I
Oh no, it
remember.
was it was a big thing,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, and it was just like, oh, you didn't want to get it, so we were scared. I remember that we were just like, you have to be careful. So we weren't. Me personally, I wasn't running around hooking up with every single girl. No, uh, but it was fun time. And then I got into dancing a little bit later. Maybe what was it like? Maybe when I was like 20. 2003, I think, something like that. So like 5 years later or something, then I decided, all right, let me test this out, and then I did pretty good with it for 5 years, maybe 6 years. I don't
Who are
know,
you
on
dancing
and off.
for?
Well, initially I started when I was in the Air Force, and pretty sure I wasn't supposed to be doing it. I
No.
didn't let the command know. I What it was so there was a party on the base and the base housing outside of base. So we had base housing on base, off base. So this is off base. One of the guys, he was leaving, he was getting out, and they had hired a girl. So that was the thing, right? Out there, there wasn't really a lot of where we lived. So I was at Vandenberg Air Force Base. It's in Central Cali. Not a whole lot of stuff right in that area, a lot of farmland. But then Santa Barbara was about an hour south. So that's where the action was. So we had a house party, and somebody had hired a girl from Santa Barbara to come up. There was this company, it was called Strip Ograms. I mean, talk about,
That's cheesy.
total cheesy 80s, whatever, 90s. Girl came, so she went and danced, and she did her thing, whatever. And we were like, oh, cool. And I remember talking to her. I was like, "Oh, what do you work for?" Like, "Oh, okay. Like, can I have a card?" I said, "Oh, do they have male strippers?" She's like, "Yeah, yeah, no, they got male guys." And I was like, "Oh,
Sign
shit,
me up.
I'll check it out." Right. So then I kind of didn't want, uh, I didn't want it to get out too much, right? Because, again, you're not supposed to be doing it. So I did all my gigs, and mainly my gigs were supposed to be over there. Like Santa Barbara was going to be the gigs, or San Luis Obispo, which was like 45 minutes north. I tried to stay away from anything that was near the base. So every time I had gigs, I'd have to drive an hour. It was jump in the car, drive. But usually I would get like two or three in like a night. So I would do one half an hour thing, usually be about an hour total, but half an hour, and then go to the next one. And then, you knock out two or three in a night, make some pretty good money. It's just cash. A lot of times, depending on when it was, some of them were pretty good. You go, it's, a bachelorette or a birthday party, and then you'd sit there, they would feed you. Bachelorette parties were funny because it's like 20 women and me. And they're like, "Do you want to eat?" I'm like, "Sure." I'd sit there and I'd eat, and there are like 20 women sitting there, and they're just looking at me, asking me all kinds of questions, I'm just like, I'm this 23-year-old dude, you know what I mean? I'm still really young. Um, but yeah, that's how I got into it, just because talked to that girl, called that company up, took a couple of photos so she could have in her book. And basically, what I was like the backup guy. I was like, okay, because I wish I had the picture. Oh man, I don't think I even have that picture. Maybe I don't know. I did. So, I was into like Arnold. This is the 90s, right? I'm into fucking Arnold, man. I mean, if you're talking Rambo, Commando, like shit, I love that shit. So
So
I
when
was
he
like
had long hair,
Commando.
or no, you was in the
I was
military
like a
because he had hair.
Terminator
Yeah.
Commando. I had these tattered jeans. I cut them all. They were black gloves. This toy machine gun that I painted all black that looked like a real gun. I had shades on, right? My hair was kind of slick. And I think I had a shirt off. And I think I had one that had like a tank top or something. And I was like doing this. But the lighting was kind of cool because it wasn't like bright light. It was kind of darker. So like half of my face was kind of shadowed. And then the other half was like this. And I was like this, just standing there. And so I was the backup dude. So what would happen is a lot of times they would, if the girls didn't know, they were last minute. Oh, we need a guy. Oh, well, I have a guy. She would send the photo or show them the photo. No, actually, it was the 90s. They didn't send anything. The girls would have to come and show up, or they wouldn't even show up. She was like, "We have a guy. He's pretty good." He's like, "Okay, he looks like this. Okay, you know what? It's fine. Bring him." Because a lot of times these parties, they would have booked them the day of, last minute. So a lot of times I would get this call, say I was already booked for one, and she'd be like, "Hey, you got two more parties tonight, and they're at this time and this time." And crazy is if there was a party, say it's at like 11 or something or midnight, you knew that was going to be kind of like, oh
A
man,
rager.
this is gonna be like, yeah, because you're showing up. And I never drank too, because I was driving all around. So I did not drink. I would go to parties, 100% sober, 100% sober. People laugh. I literally never ever drank. And I danced and I never drank anything. And you go to these parties and sometimes people are lit. They are drunk, especially the ones at 11 o'clock midnight. They are drunk. I had one girl, I'll tell one quick
Who's
story.
been married for a while and then she just wants a cup of
No,
feel and
oh,
she's
no.
like,
Oh
oh,
no, yeah. Well, no, they no,
those are
I had
some fun
one girl.
women.
This is so funny. I had one girl, she was so drunk and she was kind of tall. I swear, I feel like she was like my height, like she's like 5'10" or something. She was tall, but she wasn't, she wasn't overweight. She looked good, but taller girl. And it was for her, I think it was her bachelorette party. Um, and I think there was two of us. They had hired two guys to like strip. So because there was so many of them. So we go and it's in like this pavilion type of,
Oh, a
place.
open place.
Kind of
Wow.
open a little bit. Yeah. But it was like reserved. It was kind of where we were at. We were kind of hidden away. I mean, there wasn't, yeah.
Right.
It was pretty like private, but it was like a bigger hall type of pavilion. I don't remember. Cement floor, right? And I go in there, and there was one guy already that was there. Okay. And then I was the second guy coming in. So he was over there in this side dancing with all these girls. And then I'm coming in. I'm like, okay, I'm doing my thing. And then this girl jumps up on me, right? So I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm
Nice.
grabbing her. I mean, she's gotta be about 160, 170 because she's a taller girl. But I'm like, yeah, I got her, holding her. And she's drunk. I'm a pretty girl too, I remember. And she bites my chest.
Like left teeth marks.
Yes.
The fuck, dude.
Now I usually don't trip. Like some girls will just do something. I'll be like, it's funny. I'll let 'em go. She kind of bit, and I kind of held her, and I was like, and then she just started biting. And if you've ever been bit, when once you start to feel that like
Gonna
puncture,
pierce skin.
like your body reaction is just like, whoa. So I go, what the hell? And I let go of her like this. I let go. And she's kind of like, I mean, I figured she would have, held on better, right? Because she had her legs like, she could have held on, but I had her here and I just went like this. And she was drunk and she just went like this, boom.
Freaking
And she
pancake.
fell, boom. Didn't hit her head or maybe a little bit, I'm not sure. And I was like, what the hell? And dude, it was teeth marks, bro. I was like, yo, like that's messed up. It's fun, but not that fun. And the friend's like, well, what are you doing? What's going on? And I was like, what am I doing? What's your friend? She's fucked up. I was like, okay, I got like, I'm done for the night. I can't, and I was like, damn. I mean, yeah, that was a fun one. I mean, I had an old lady throw soda on me before. Like,
Oh,
she was
geez.
nervous. It was like a house party. It was small and I'm just dancing. And it was a little party, right? It was a little thing for one of the girls, and she's just sitting there with her Coke or something like that. Older lady, gotta be in her 60s, 70s. And I'm just going around. I'm just chilling. I'm just doing my thing. Hey, I got hired. I'm just moving around, dancing around. And she goes like this. She goes, and tosses it on me. I wasn't even like really in her face. It was just, she was just sitting here and I was just going in front of her, like around. And she just freaked out, I guess, and tossed it. And I remember,
She was afraid of the one-eyed
I don't
monster.
know. Hey, I had my little trunks on or whatever. And I remember going, I was gonna keep going, and I remember like going, stopping. I was like, I was like, yeah, kind of irritated. I was like, nah, I think I'm done. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of fucked up. I was like, that's not really cool. I'm out. They're like, oh my God. It's like, sorry. You just don't do that to people. I was like,
Oh,
I'm
I
out.
get it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's a point, you just gotta know when to be like, you know what? We're not doing this. Luckily, I didn't. I mean, most of the time, the parties, it was fun. It was just like fun times. You get in there, you good times. You just kind of have a thing. Energy's fun. You do your dance, whatever, and then you say, okay, and then you just bounce. But you got to remember, it was the 90s, so different time. I used to bring a stereo. I had a really cool stereo. I had a mixtape. It was a mixtape. It would just, do my whole thing. And sometimes I'd bring a friend usually, and he would do the sounds for me. And I would bring lights sometimes too.
Oh,
Bring some
geez.
black lights or bring some like, like strobe light party light thing and set it up. And he would give the little speech, tell them the rules and stuff. And then I would come out, and then we'd put the music on, and this was the '90s. Come on, ride the train and ride it. That's that kind of music, and then there's some R&B slow jams. Silk. Remember that?
Freak me,
Freak Me
baby.
Baby, yeah, like that kind of stuff. My mind's telling me no. R. Kelly. I mean, this is the vibe, right? Like this was the '90s, so good times, man. Good
Jed, you
times.
ever do anything like that with a body?
That's like never.
Never. Why not? It could have made you some good cash.
You could have
No,
been like the Harley guy.
I was always a fat kid.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah. I never really got in shape till I got out of the Navy.
I feel like I don't know. I remember there was always like one dude in every time a group or there was a little bit fat. I remember that. There was always one guy that needed to lose about 15 pounds. Like all of our groups. There was super skinny dude that was like, dude, you need to eat, bro. And then there was always that dude that was like 15, 20 pounds overweight.
everybody has their,
No,
their
that's how
type
it
of
was.
body that they.
Yeah, that's how it was. And then there was always one jack dude, which is me. I was like the most like overly muscular, probably. You know. Then there was a dancer guy who looked good, but he could just outdance everybody. You know what I mean? So it was interesting times.
See, back then, muscular body could get you a few places.
No, you could. Oh yeah, muscular. Back in the '90s. I mean,
I don't even know how we got to this topic. Sorry,
yep.
guys. But
Hey, hey, this is this is we're revealing some things about my past history. Anybody who's delving into this podcast who have stuck around past 40 minutes
I know,
gets to
right?
find out this information. So
That
yeah.
Mark was a male stripper.
Males should be out. Hey, I needed the money.
Yeah, sometimes,
No,
sometimes.
because I continued it later after I got out of the military, after I got out of the Air Force, because I was pursuing bodybuilding and it was just too easy. The '90s, it was so much opportunity to make money doing it. Um, that if the opportunity wasn't there, I probably would have gotten some other job.
There is
But
a few of your colleagues that maintain to male strip in late into their years, right?
yeah, there was a few. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, some
Because they
guys.
had the nice bodybuilder bodies,
Yeah.
and some of them like that little salt and pepper, and they did their thing and made some money, right? Male stripping.
Is there even I mean, I know that there's no more like strip shows, but I think Kevin, right? What's his name? Kevin Perimeter. There's one guy that still does it. I think Kevin. I know. What's his
Remember,
something experience? What is it called? Oh man, I can't remember. But anyway, is there even any?
there was the Men of Paradise that lasted for
Right.
a while,
Yeah,
but
that's
I don't know
gone.
who does it
Yeah, because they
now.
brought it back. That was the
Mm-hmm.
original. Was Men of
Yeah,
Paradise.
and
I
then they
don't think
brought
there's
it
anything
back.
at all. I don't think there's any male reviews at all. Or male, like if somebody wanted to hire one for like a party, is there even that?
There was a group a few years ago
Yeah,
when I was at Powerhouse.
there
That
was a few.
was
Yeah.
there was one Hustlers or whatever.
Oh, Island Hustlers.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were.
yeah, yeah. Because I actually, when I was finishing up, when I moved back to Hawaii, I danced for a few years and I danced with them a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah,
Since there's not any, I think that could be a lucrative business for you, business savvy people to start back up a male review.
Yeah. It's called the Rich Experience. That's what it's called. That's his name.
The rich
It's
experience.
called the Rich Experience. Yeah, that's what he calls it, the Rich
His name
Experience.
must be Rich something or another
have they
then.
But
always
I
done
thought it
it
was
around the
Kevin.
drag shows? Because when I got here, it was
It
always like
Yeah.
was.
before or after.
Yeah,
Like
it
at
used to be
Fusions,
after.
at Fusions it was after,
Yeah, it
right?
was usually after, and then a
And
whole
then there
bunch.
Venus,
was
there
we
was
got to a
Venus and
show.
then Fusions.
Venus,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then there was Bar Seven, and they
Yeah.
always did
Bar
it before
Seven, yeah.
because we were when I was in the Navy. We're off on like a Thursday, and we're like, "Fuck, we gotta find something to do."
Mhm.
And somebody found it online, like, "Oh, let's go check out this drag show." We got
Yeah.
there, and the guys were like, "We got here too fucking early for this shit," because the male review was going on. When we walked
Oh
in,
yeah,
and
yeah,
of course,
yeah.
all the girls were like, "Yay!" And we're like, "We're gonna go outside and smoke
We're gonna wait.
cigarettes
Yeah,
until
of
the shit gets
course, of
done."
course.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that
because they would
was
bring in all the girls, and then after the girl, like the hot girls, they would hang out in the gay bars or whatever, right? So you'd have all these straight females in the bar. Like it was funny. It was an interesting mix of crowd in there. It's like okay.
I think it would be a very lucrative business, especially because you have all of these strip bars where females are
You,
disrobing
I
themselves, and there's
wonder.
not a male review.
No,
Just the
there's
tourist
none.
women alone would probably go because they're here and nobody will.
Yeah.
They
Well,
know
that's
will
what I
see
mean.
them or
Well, they still
anything.
have the down under thing, right? Like
The
in Vegas, yeah.
Australian,
I think
yeah,
there's still Chippendales
they're still chipping those,
and
but
there's
there's
still
none
down under.
here.
No, there's nothing here. And for the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s, there was always something here. There's no more. And I'm wondering
I
if
didn't think about that.
yeah, there's
So
nothing
just
here
get
for it.
some single bodybuilder dudes that want to make some fast cash on the weekends and
I
do a
mean,
little
there's an
dance.
opportunity to do a show. Maybe I can get the guys going. Maybe I get a bunch of guys going. I'm not doing it, but I'll be the
You can
guy
be
that
the
runs it.
manager.
I'm gonna be the pimp.
You can run the
That'd be so
agency.
funny. Hey man, there could be somebody. I don't know. Is that even a thing anymore? Because
Mark's Mel Stripper Agency.
the Iron Hawaiians. I know. Iron Hawaiian stripping. We're just doing all. Everything's Iron Hawaiian. We're doing it all.
You could even do where like you bring them in here and film their workout videos and
Yeah,
shit,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and promote it.
and have them selling the
Yeah.
DVDs or some shit. Like
Oh my God. Could you
that'd be
imagine?
a whole industry, man.
Dude, that's a whole industry.
Iron
Like,
Hawaiian.
what the hell happened to
Mark's
Mark?
Iron Hawaiian
Mark's
Mel
freaking, he's
Strip
like, dude, Mark's killing
Routine.
it with this male stripping thing. We can get female strippers too. Hell, what the hell? I'm not biased.
Have them
We'll
all work
take,
out here.
we'll take them all. We'll get them all in.
Fuck yeah,
Is it
dude.
even a thing though nowadays with because the internet and OnlyFans and all that crap? Isn't it? Is like live
But
things
look
even
at
a
it. It's a
thing?
niche market. This is
I think
bodybuilding.
stuff like that will make a comeback though,
Hell yeah.
because people are gonna get. I think it's gonna. There's gonna be this reverb where people are gonna want to start going out again and seeing it in
Yeah,
person.
yeah. I
So
wonder. Yeah.
because, like I said before, they're starting to. Like for instance, like now everybody goes to cell phone. Now they're starting to take them out of schools, starting to take them out of
Mm,
concerts, and people are starting to go back to having to conversate with each other and going out and getting the experience. I think eventually people are going to want to go out and see the stuff in person now. You
The
yeah.
know,
real life
yeah,
experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because once you take that phone away, you start realizing like why you go and see it in person. You start experiencing so like that concert I went to 10 times better because nobody was filming.
Mm.
So I think all this shit eventually is going to start going back to how it was. So it may be a good time.
The hard part is just finding talent. Well, because most guy, the one thing I remember, I feel like maybe the 90s strippers weren't as bad, but it's flakiness, right? Like, I don't know how these guys are nowadays. It's going to be flaky people. 90s, we were pretty reliable, actually. We would show up. But if you want to get paid, man, you show up.
Money's good.
The money's good. No, the money's good. And you just do like a cut. It's like a 60-40, whatever. You say, hey.
I think it'll do a comeback, like how Jed was saying.
Oh my God.
Mark,
And they can't shame you for it with all these girls doing OnlyFans and shit. They can't get
No.
mad at a guy
Well,
for doing it on
nowadays it's
YouTube.
not. I mean, they had those movies, those Magic Mike movies and all that already. You remember? And that wasn't too long ago. That
No,
was
it
like
wasn't.
5, 6 years
Yeah.
ago, the last one. That was the thing. So there's definitely room for a comeback, especially here in Hawaii. Like you said, with tourists and stuff. If you set it up to where maybe the tourists
Because
know
they can
about
come
it.
here and do it and they don't have to worry about any of their friends knowing about it or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
They'll come here and do it and go back home, not tell a fucking person about it, and they'll get their fix or whatever.
Mark's Garage.
Well, I mean,
Bunch of male strippers.
what are you calling it?
Mark's Garage. Can I have it right
The
now?
Mark's Garage. Yeah, oh my God, in the garage.
Uh,
Mel, you're giving me a no. You're giving me a kisses.
I've been to drag shows and shit in a parking garage.
Mm.
see?
They make it work.
Yeah, because there's still drag shows, right?
Yeah.
And that's still going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
Do those things get pretty packed or what?
I haven't been in a long time, but when
'Cause
I
they have
went,
it.
they would get packed.
Yeah. Do they? Well, is there a so to go at the drag to go to the drag show here? Is there a fee besides just the regular fee?
I think it's just the regular entrance
it's
fee
just
or
a regular
whatever. Yeah.
fee. It just draws. So they're just trying to get people to go to the club.
Yeah,
then. Okay.
because the drag show's usually early, and then it turns into the club
Into the
right after
dance,
it's
right?
done.
And they're
Yeah.
hoping people stay and drink and all
That's
that.
what
Yeah,
happens. Because by the
yeah,
end of the show, it gets fucking packed in there.
yeah. So that's what
Do
it
they
is.
get paid or is it just they dance for tips?
I don't
I
know
think
how
it's
that works,
tips.
but I do know
Just tips?
the tips they get to keep. But I don't. And I've heard some of them make a lot.
They
the
probably get
tips.
paid something.
Yeah,
I
I'd
don't
say
know.
so.
Maybe I would think.
I mean, how would you if you had a good performer? How would you keep them coming back?
Right.
So you'd have to do something.
There's some kind of pay.
'Cause
Yeah, I
there's a
would
few
think the
places
bar is
that
going to
do.
pay them something because they know the bar knows that
It'll bring
it'll
business.
bring business. So we're gonna, even if they paid them $100 each, you know what I mean, and then they get tips, they might walk out of there with $200-300 if they're lucky. So something like that. Because how many are like 3, 4 acts? How many acts usually?
The ones I've been to usually each performer does two
Oh, okay. And how many
two acts.
performers?
Ah, shit.
It was like 4 of them,
Maybe
maybe,
four.
maybe
Yeah,
4.
4 or 5.
Yeah, because the show's like what, an hour?
Yeah.
Usually, yeah, okay. Because that's how ours was. We used to do an hour-long show. Yeah. So, but it
I,
was different.
I think you only have 2
Yeah.
places that do it here now. It's Hula's and Scarlet.
Well, and I saw, I mean, Scarlett, I saw that it's a lot of college students that go there now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because HPU
The
is there,
crowd's
right?
crowd's a little different there now than when we
It's a
used to
big
go.
college student, yeah.
Yeah,
Young college student
yeah.
crowd. And there was a couple fights right there in front of that place I saw in the
Yeah, just
videos.
recently as
And
I
well.
see,
saw it on Instagram.
we used to go there because there was never any fights, and just recently that shit started happening because it got more popular. So now
It's a
everybody's going
mixture
there.
of people.
So it's not just the like it's a
It's
gay
not
club, but you see
right.
everybody there
It's the
now.
gay and straight in there.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's what's happening. You're having a mixture of
it takes one drunk tourist to do the
yeah.
wrong thing.
Yep.
You know,
That's what it is. That's great. Oh, I know
Imagine
how this
that.
started because you were bringing up Gussie Lamores, and then we went all
Gussie
into,
Lamores,
or
yeah.
Gussie Lamores, yeah, Gussie Lamores, and then we went all into all these different.
Could you
It's
imagine that?
crazy.
You're some straight tourist guy
Yeah,
going into
you
Scarlett's,
don't
getting your
realize
ass
it.
beat
Yeah.
by a tranny. Or, oh
Well,
man,
you're gonna know though. Well, you can't say you didn't know because Scarlett's. I train jujitsu right next to it,
yeah,
workshop, and if you look on the walls, they have the posters, and
yeah.
it
But
says the
still, I
drag
mean,
show.
then
Like
and
it
then
tells you what it
it
is.
gets on the internet, getting your ass beat by some tranny, and really,
Hey, some tries can fight, man.
there's still men
There's
underneath
there's
that
some
as
I know, and
well.
there's some big ones. There's some big ones, man. I don't mess with them. Like people be like underestimating. Like, hey, like you said, there's still men and
Yeah.
some dude in there to kick your ass, man. Mess
See,
around, shit.
back to this eating and
Yeah.
holiday.
I think the
We
podcast is
totally got
over, man.
back
carried
back to
Honestly,
away.
Christmas
I
time.
think this
We got
podcast
carried
is
away.
done. No,
Yeah,
We
no.
totally got carried
Back to
away.
no. This is a good podcast. This is a good one. I think it's good. People get to hear some back history, some stories. So it's all good. It's the ending of the year. It's the ending of the year. We're reminiscing about some old school stuff, some stories. And next year, hopefully, yeah, we'll have the new setup and we're gonna get a lot more guests. We'll definitely start getting guests
You
more often
always
now.
say that.
No, I have, but you know what? I honestly haven't been putting a lot of effort into getting guests lately, but that's fine.
It's the holidays.
It's fine because I mean I will. I'll get guests on here. We'll start doing it. It'll be 2026, right? We'll get New Year and we'll get some stuff going. It's fine. But
well,
we have to
people don't
say or
realize
watch
Hawaii's
us.
got history in bodybuilding.
There is.
When I first got here, I was shocked at how big it was when there was only 2 shows on the island.
Yeah.
Everybody did it.
It was popular. I mean, Hawaiian Islands was
Yep,
when
went
I
to the
was
last one.
Hawaiian Islands, Hawaiian Classic were huge. And then Paradise Cup came after. But those shows, like Hawaiian Islands was the show. Like everybody was like, I want to win Hawaiian Islands.
Yeah.
And then later, I don't know when it was, because I moved, right? In the 90s sometime, Paradise Cup became a thing. And then but Hawaiian Classic was also a big show, kind of like Hawaiian Islands, Hawaiian Classic. And then when they added the Paradise Cup, they had some other little ones here and there come and go, throughout the years. I did the Mr. Aloha State. That was a small one for a little while. Um, but Hawaiian Classic was definitely a good one. It was pretty packed. Like that show was, they'd have it in the like Ilikai ballroom, I remember, and it was packed shows. Yeah, interesting. Uh, the good old days, man, the 80s and the 90s of Hawaii bodybuilding. So there's been a lot of good bodybuilders. Definitely want to get some. What who else won? He won Hawaiian Islands, right? What's the other Mike? What's his name? Mike. He's still competing in Masters, actually. Wait, I'm sorry, I can't because he won Hawaiian Islands before. Mike DeMarco.
Mike Dimon.
Yeah, Mike DeMarco. So he was a Hawaiian Islands winner
Yeah.
years back. Yeah.
The one I went, I think Sperling won the year I went.
Oh yeah,
It's like 2008 or 2009.
that's right.
That was the one I went to. It was the
Yeah.
last one they had.
And then it turned into Ikaika,
Yeah.
basically, is when it was. Yeah, because Alan started doing the shows there, right? And didn't Alan did try to bring it back that one year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
tried.
yeah. But
Schleer Camp did the
oh
one that
well,
I went
that's
to.
right, Slayer Camp. Yeah, yeah.
He had
Ah,
some
it's too
badass
bad.
prizes too. He was giving away watches and all kinds of shit,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and a free ride
yeah,
to the USA's. Whoever won
that's right.
overall got a free ticket to the USA's.
Okay, we're gonna sign off in a second, but real quick, if we could bring back a show, which one would it be? Would it be Hawaiian Islands or Paradise Cup?
Paradise Cup.
Paradise Cup.
The
Everybody
guest
wants
posing was
Paradise.
so badass at the Paradise
Everybody
Cup.
wants Paradise. Yeah. Well, the energy for Paradise too was
Yeah,
a
you
higher
got to meet
energy.
like the top Olympians and shit. Like they
Yeah.
had good guest posers there.
But they're not. Nobody's doing guest posing anymore,
Yeah,
dude.
they are. Yeah, they are. They still do it. It's
I
just
don't.
we don't pay the money
I
for
don't
it
think
anymore.
anybody wants to pay the money because look at the shows. They're small. I don't know if they would. I don't know if they would draw a lot of people if you get some guest posers.
Yeah, you would.
Maybe you get like a popular bikini guest poser and a bodybuilder.
Nah, I don't
Nah,
think so. Not at
bodybuilding.
You don't
all.
think a bikini guest poser would do
People
it?
want to see freaks, dude. Get the bodybuilders.
No, well, you bring the bikini girl in, and then she signs autographs, and then she gets on stage this little thing. But no, but people want the bodybuilder. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. But
I don't know. I don't even think that'll keep a crowd or draw a crowd
even having the
in
bodybuilding
this.
guest poser that's nowadays, it's not going to be a thing anymore, huh?
Yeah, people's attention span is like the size of a fucking.
It's changed now, so that would be losing money.
Yeah, it's yeah,
Yeah,
especially because you'd
yeah.
have to put them up room
Oh no,
board
for
and
sure. A lot,
you
lots of
know
money,
some
lots of
type
money.
of food stipend, rent a
Yeah.
car, and all of that other
Oh
good
yeah.
stuff. It'd be a waste of money to bring in a pro guest poser and
I mean, you have Chris now who's here, and if you like Chris was getting ready closer for one of his pro shows, say, and then there was a local show, you could bring him in and be like, here's the Hawaii's pro bodybuilder, you know.
because Chavez did it a couple of times
Chavez
at
did
the
it
shows,
too,
and
right?
it still it didn't even
It wasn't like
keep
a
a
big
crowd. It
thing.
wasn't people don't give a shit.
People didn't
And
care, right?
especially like I said, their attention spans, like for the size of shows and the amount of
Mm.
competitors with being able to, go into different divisions and multiple
Yeah.
categories.
I guess
I
that's what's
mean,
changed it.
that's what's
Yeah.
changed. And if
Because like you said, it was different back then
Yeah.
when when you were watching it, when they had those posers, because it was kind of exciting having that guest poser.
mhm.
And you're right, there wasn't as many divisions and there wasn't crossovers or all that stuff. So the show was I guess it went, it wasn't, maybe it was still drawn out, but it was,
You had time to fill.
yeah, you had time to fill and people were doing one division. That's it.
Mhm.
So you got to see each person one time. You weren't sitting there going, oh, this guy again. Third time posting.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do that.
That's why I think shows are kind of boring. Like when I used to compete, when they started doing, the
Yeah.
crossovers and shit, I would tell my family or my friends, I'm like, man, don't watch, don't come, don't even bother. It's fucking
Is there
boring.
anything that we could that not we could, but just the bodybuilding community in general, or somebody who wants to promote shows could do to make these shows better or bring it back to life?
I don't know because like so even Ray's shows, it is one of the bigger shows of the years. He
Hmm.
even tried like a opening act with, dancers or like fucking
And that,
something.
yeah,
And then like a halftime show with dancers and some
right.
sort of means of entertainment and like they weren't even
Still,
keeping the crowd and now it's
yeah.
just like all right, halftime, everybody, it's a bathroom break, intermission, be back in half an hour, which means 45 minutes to an hour, and it just dragged on even longer.
Hmm.
So even like the Sean Ray, he had like a opening and it didn't keep. So
So it wasn't, yeah, it didn't really, you're right. I remember seeing that. For me, it was almost like, why do we have that? Like
like hurry up and let's go.
it's taking up
Get it
time,
over with.
right, right. Yeah. And I heard through the grapevine that one of the shows they may not be doing it next year. I don't know.
Mm. So
Not
if
gonna
you
say which show it is, but
yeah,
I just heard. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there's gonna be one less show
I
next
honestly
year.
think these crossovers and multiple divisions and all of this, it just got the shows carried away and it lost its luster. So,
You know what? I have an idea, and this is it. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. We were talking about it earlier. You have a buffet show. It's a you have it where there's a meal, everybody has tables, and you have food, and you serve food, and then you have a show. Boom. People want to come to eat food. They will eat the food. They may not stick around, but they will eat the food. They will pay for the food, and then at least you get the numbers and you get money, and you have the show while their food's being served and stuff. This could be something. They've never done that before. You said people have short attention spans, so they get to eat the food, then they get to look, and then hey, people are distracted, right? I don't know, man. I mean, there's it's just sad. I don't even know if bodybuilding's ever gonna be revived like it was. If it's ever gonna be a thing like it was. I don't know.
I
It's too
don't think
much
so.
internet, too much access to whatever you want to see right here. You can go watch all the shows right on your phone. I don't know. That sucks, but oh well. It's the world we're in nowadays, so.
Attention span of a guppy.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on this interesting episode of Paradise Bump. And we'll see you next time. Aloha.